Hey, you all. So I just wanted to share some creative cooking in the kitchen with Drea. Today I had a bunch of meetings and different things going on. So I didn't have as much time to prep dinner, but I told Teddy that we were definitely going to make some chicken and noodles today. So I had a leftover chicken, one of the ones you buy from the store, a little rotisserie chicken. And I was going to use that to make chicken and noodles. Now, the way I'm going to do this, y'all, because it is late. We usually have dinner around 6:30 now. So, probably going to have dinner a little late tonight. But this is how we're going to do it. So, I'm boiling egg spiral noodles right now. They are done. I'm about to take them out. I'm boiling them in a boiling pot. Let me rinse my hands off real quick. Let me just show you all what I got going on. I'm also making greens. That's a side project. I just love greens with kale, collard, and spinach. So, got my greens going. Side project. So, the way I kept my greens is, of course, I put them in bags and Ziploc bags in the freezer. So, when I wanted more greens, I just take them out and cook them. All right, so this is the last of them, too. So, if you're a person who buys a lot of greens and you're like, oh, I don't eat them in time before they go bad, you can use this. So in the other pot, I got my egg noodles going, right? Let me rinse the spoon off because I've just been kind of using the same spoon right now. Lazy, need to go over to the store and get the other one. All right, so my egg noodles are boiled. They are soft, as you can see. See how soft they are? I don't know if y'all can see it because all the steam hitting my camera. All right, so my egg noodles are boiled. They are soft. I'm going to pull them out. So here's the thing. I want to keep my same water because it's already boiled. It has a little bit of the egg broth in it. Has everything in it that's needed, right? So now what I'm going to do is take my pot of noodles and I'm going to drain them and put them in a bowl for now. Actually, I don't need that big. I think this one should be a good size bowl. Now, mind you, my kitchen's pretty tiny, so I don't have a lot of space per se. So I'm just going to move some stuff around real quick. A little bit of snack food in the wrong place. All right, so I'm going to take these noodles out and I'm going to strain them to put them, ooh, this handle's hot, so some towels. I'm going to actually turn this water down on both of these pots a little bit. So I like to get my stuff good and hot and going first, right? So I'm just draining this pot back into the same pot the pasta came out of. And there's a reason why I'm doing that. Because I want the starch and everything from the noodles to be in there, right? Because I use these egg noodles. So I just want everything to be in there. And so I'm going to take these egg noodles and put them in a side bowl. Now, just so y'all know, this is my first time doing this. But it just sounds good. Y'all know I don't cook by recipes or anything really. I just kind of cook by how things taste to me and how they smell, right? So got my egg noodles in the bowl. They're good to go for now. We're just going to set them aside. You know, people use those for beef stroganoff, etc. So now, I'm going to take this chicken bone. So leftover carving of the chicken, I'm just going to soak it in the water. Okay? And I'm going to add a little bit of seasoning to it. And I'm just going to let it boil for about 10-15 minutes just to get the flavor off the bone into there. And the reason why I did it in the straining pot, because I don't want the little pieces down in there just in case any bones fall off or anything, because I'm going to throw all of that away. I have all my chopped up chicken over here, so all of that will get thrown away. All right, so with that said, excuse those plantains and stuff over there. I just looked over and I was like, I got plantains, everything over there. I'm just adding some seasoning. So I like onion powder and everything and garlic and everything. So of course onion powder and garlic will be going in. I'm not going to add any salt just yet. Actually, I may add a little bit of salt. It's just adding my garlic. Actually, do the big scoop. All right. So got that going on that bone. I'm going to add some salt. Not a lot because I don't really do salt in my food like that. But if you do salt, this is a good option. Pink Himalayan salt. So I got that going. And then I'm just going to mix it. It's a container that the chicken came out of. I'm going to throw that bone back in there and throw it away soon. So I'm just going to, let me pick up the camera so y'all can see. Just got this going in here because I'm going to want the broth to kind of taste like chicken, right? You can always do the cheat way and do a bouillon cube or something to add the chicken flavor, but I'm not a huge fan of bouillon cubes, and the reason being is they're just a little salty. My mom did give me a quick way to do it, to simply cook the chicken. I'm sorry, put some, it's like a I don't know how to even explain it. It's like a container of like either it's like bouillon, but it's not bouillon. It's like chicken broth or a chicken flavoring or beef flavoring. And so she showed me a shortcut to do it that way, to get that kind of stuff. But what we're going to do here is we're just going to boil this bone. So I'm going to turn the heat back up and let it boil and suck up some of the flavor out of here. You see, you got stuff already floating in here, falling around and stuff, which is fine. It's not really a big deal. You know, I cook by smell, so of course I got to smell it. All right, so it's doing good. So we're going to cut the heat up on it again. And we're just going to let that boil, okay? So, be back soon, y'all. Be back with some good meat. While that's going on, let's come on back over here to these greens. They smell good, but I think they're going to be under-seasoned. So, I'm going to add a little seasoning to them. So, in my greens, I did put a little Creole seasoning in them. Not too much, because I like for Teddy to eat some too. And this child of mine just don't handle anything spicy too well. So, I try to be cautious not to put too much Creole seasoning. But I love Creole seasoning. I put it in everything that I cook. Literally everything except for this chicken noodle soup. I didn't put it in there. I'm going to have to do an individual thing because my child will be like, oh, it's too spicy. Alright, so that's my Creole seasoning. I'll put some more onion powder in here. I did season the water before I put the greens in. Also, if you eat pork, you're probably not going to like these. I can do them without pork, but I wanted to add some more flavor. So I did cook some bacon and then in the microwave. And I have like a catch container. And I took that and I used that to catch all of the bacon grease. And then from there, I went on to add that bacon grease into the water first. And let that boil a little bit before I added my greens. Adding a little garlic back into it as well, y'all. So y'all know I like garlic. I'm going to skip the salt and everything else. So garlic, onion powder. And look, this chicken's boiling over here. I'll cut the heat down just a little bit. Alright. Alright, y'all. Sorry, y'all looking at my side of my face and stuff. So I'm just doing my greens again. Mixing in that seasoning. And don't talk about me, y'all, but I cook by the way things smell. I don't cook by, I taste later. But if it smells good, generally, I can tell if it's seasoned well enough. I can tell if it yummy. Of course, I taste after. But, well, okay. But to start off, I always start off by the smell. So, if I lose my sense of smell, y'all, my food might be SOL. Because I depend on that very heavily for cooking. Alright, and I can smell the spinach in here. I did put more spinach in here than I did last time. Because I had a lot of spinach left. But I'm hoping that it just kind of dies in a little bit. Because I do have collards, spinach, and kale in here. Are the three greens that I'm cooking in. And you'll see a couple little pieces of bacon. I had 2 pieces of bacon, y'all. Right? And that was the last of it. And I told my son, I said, buddy, I had a Jack and Jill meeting today. I said, buddy, I'm going into my meeting. Do not eat this bacon right here because I need it for the greens. He said, okay, Mom. I come back out. There's 1 piece of bacon left on the plate, y'all. So needless to say, I just cut the little 1 piece up and stuck it in there for now. Alright, so that's that. This chicken is boiling in here. Smells really good. Glass is getting all fogged up with the water. Smells really good. When you're cooking really quickly, you can do this. Just cut the heat up. That's what I do. So I'm just like catching the stuff that all came up to the top. Animal-based products. If you don't eat animal-based products, this video just might not be for you. I'm not going to offer a substitute because I just don't have one right now. But it smells pretty good. And if you're not sure of how long you should cook it or whatever, you can literally taste the broth, the water, and see if it's at the standard of where you need it to be at. And go from there, right? So for me, for now, I'm just going to let it sit. I'm going to set a timer for 10 minutes, y'all, and just let it boil for 10 minutes. And you can see, I'm going to turn the camera so you can see, you can see how the water's very creamy and so forth. And it's not just because the pasta was in there. Like, it's like that because of the chicken in there. You can see the oils and grease from the chicken, you know, the natural amylase, animal fat inside of there. So we're just gonna let that cook, letting the broth come to be a chicken broth, essentially. All right. We'll just let that simmer for about 10 minutes, y'all. Then we're gonna take it out, take the draining pot out, and we're going to take some of the water out because we don't need it all. I just let it all sit in there. We're gonna take some of it out, and then we're gonna add our pasta back in and let it kind of absorb that water. I know I was thinking at first to just do the chicken first and then add the pasta to it, but it just turned out better to I was like, well, you know, maybe I should just boil the pasta first, put it aside, and do the chicken. I don't know how people traditionally do it. I just cook by the top of my mind, the way I feel and think. So that's hence what I did. Let this top breathe a little bit, let it simmer, turn it down a little bit. So we're getting everything we need to get out of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this little timer. Let's just do 5 minutes. Yes, we're gonna let that cook. We got greens going on too. Gonna let that cook. I think by about 7 o'clock I will probably be done with everything. So we'll have dinner, you know, a little later than usual, but that's okay. We're gonna have a good solid dinner of some chicken and noodles with some greens. And I'm looking forward to sharing with you all the end result of how everything is gonna come out. It probably won't be on this video. I'll probably have to do some snaps or something for it. Pictures when I say snaps. So we shall see. But thus far, y'all, it smells really, really good. Okay. Greens are smelling good. They're cooking well. So we're going to let that keep cooking. I really love greens, y'all, by the way. I don't know if I call it my favorite food, but it's definitely on the top of my list. Greens. I like veggies a lot. Although I'm not a huge fan of broccoli like that. Like, and my son loves broccoli. Loves it. Can eat it with every single meal. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't like broccoli. I think it's stinky. Makes you stink after eating it. It's just not my favorite thing. But I do like squash, zucchini, and greens. So, and also French green beans that are air fried. That's something that I really enjoy. But with all that said, y'all, we're just going to let this cook for a little minute. All right. I'll be right back. All right, y'all. Well, we're just waiting for this last couple of minutes to finish up with the chicken broth that we're creating. I just wanted to talk a little bit about why I enjoy making home-cooked meals. Now, I enjoy making home-cooked meals because I feel like it gives me control. It gives me control of what's going inside of my body. It gives me control of, or gives me this sense of like superpowers that I know I can get something done in a very short time period and produce a great product that's good for my family. So that's why I enjoy cooking, y'all. I enjoy feeling like I'm feeding my family something healthy instead of just always eating fast food and junk food all the time, y'all. So that's what it's about. My little kitchen, y'all, excuse me, it's so small in here. And I got so much stuff right now that I just need to declutter, honestly. But, you know, making do with what I have until I get a single family home or whatever the case may be. So, for now in my condo, I just make do with the space that I do have. But that ain't what y'all want to hear about. What y'all want to hear about is what this chicken broth is looking like. So, let me go ahead and show y'all what it's looking like right now. So this is what it's looking like. Nice oil-based substance in there. Very brothy looking, so to speak. Guess we can use that as a word, brothy looking. So, and there's lots of little pieces of meat that fell off in here. I almost want to keep it, like catch it and keep it, y'all. But I have so much meat chopped up over there too, because I personally am not a fan of chicken breasts and wings and stuff on rotisserie chicken. I eat the thighs and legs, and that's about it. The rest usually end up hitting the trash can, unless I can find a way to preserve it for something else, like maybe sandwiches or something like that. But in general, I'll generally never eat just the chicken breast off of rotisserie chickens. They're dry to me. I don't care for them. even though rotisserie meat tends to be more juicier than a lot of other meats. All right, y'all. So our timer is about to end. So I'm just going to go ahead and, all right, these handles are much cooler. I can pick them up. Taking the straining pot out just so y'all know what I'm doing here. And I'm going to dump all of this back into that chicken container. So let me find a better way to do this without dripping chicken juice all over my floor. Yes, I said chicken juice. All right, so I'm going to take this, pour this back into here. Y'all can see I'm just pouring the bones and stuff back in here. Smells delicious, by the way. All right, let's see. Chicken flavor tastes good. Not super strong. Yeah, I'm just eating the chicken out of this frying bowl. So much fat on here. Alright, so now we got our broth. I'm going to show y'all what it looks like. Just a second. Let me just sit this down in here for now. Alright. So now our chicken broth is ready. Y'all can see it. Alright. Now here's what I like to do, because I got what I needed out of the chicken, right? So now I'm going to get a spoon and I'm going to take a little bit and taste it and see. You can see the oil in there. Show y'all. Oil in that broth, which is perfect. So hold on. It's good. It's very light though. Doesn't have that heavy chicken taste to it, like one would expect had I used a bouillon cube or something of the sort. And I don't really like using bouillon cubes. That's the thing. They're just salty to me. But I'm thinking about using one, y'all. Like a half of one. Not too much. They're just too salty. All right. Yeah, I got chicken bouillon cubes. So let me bust it open, bust it open, bust it open. Let me get one out of here. And what I'm going to do is just break it in half, because I don't like chicken bouillon. It's just too salty, y'all. So if you're a person got high blood pressure and all of that, don't use these things. Take your natural meat and make the broth out of it, okay? That's my first word of advice to you all. So I'm going to take this and just cut it a little bit on the cutting board, because I really don't want all this going in my water. I don't like extra salty foods. I like well-seasoned food, but not salty foods. By the way, y'all, this is hard as heck to cut through too. Actually, you know what? I'm just put the whole thing in, because I'm not going to use all of this. I'm going to throw some of it out. So we're going to just put the whole thing in for now. And mind you, I am not a fan of bouillon cubes at all. They're too salty. I prefer the natural way of doing it. But in this case, because I'm cooking it pretty quickly, my chicken probably need to stay and just boil for about 25 minutes, to be honest, to get all the flavoring out of that chicken. But in this case, we don't have 25 minutes because it's close to dinner time. So we just threw a little bouillon cube in there. All right. Now remember, I said I probably wouldn't, if you have time, do not use bouillon cubes. Take your time and cook a good meal for your family. And I only put one tiny one in there too, by the way, y'all. All right, let me rinse my spoon off so I can dip in there again. That's good. Tastes like chicken noodle. Very good. Not too salty, actually. It's pretty good. All right, so now we have all of that done. I'm going to pour some of this liquid out, some of the broth out, right? And if you are a person that like to make a lot of different dishes, you can always save some of this broth inside of something and come back and use it later, right? But in this case, do I want to save any of it? I don't think so today. So I'm going to pour a little bit of it out. All right, so I poured about half of it out. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take our cutting board with the chicken on it. Get these wings and stuff off of here. Okay, I did pull all of the skin off as much as possible because I don't want to put skin inside of there. I don't really personally like eating the skin when it's been in water and stuff like that. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I know how I feel about it. So, now we're going to take the chicken. We're going to drop it in the broth. Quite a bit of chicken going in there. Alright. Mind y'all, poured out half of the broth. So, I'm going to drop something. Alright, so let me show y'all what it's looking like right now. This is the broth with the chicken in there. Hope y'all can see that. Broth and chicken, okay? Now we're going to take, let me turn these screens down. Now we're going to take the noodles and put them back in the water. We're not going to put them in a strainer. We're going to put them actually in the water because we want to eat the chicken with the noodles. All right? And then we're just going to mix it in. I probably could have poured out a little more water, y'all. But that's okay. Or broth, I guess it is. It's no longer water. And the chemical makeup of it has been changed. So just mixing it all in there together right now. Getting as much flavor as possible in there. Yeah. It smells good. Alright, so we're going to drain just a little bit more water out. I'm just getting my noodles rehydrated and wet since they've been sitting in a bowl dry. Alright. Alright, yeah. So that's good. Pour a little water out, y'all. Alright, that's a good amount. Tip of my pot off. Alright, so now it doesn't have a lot of water in it. It just has the noodles and chicken in it. Y'all see, that's what it looks like. I'm just smelling it a little bit. Y'all, as I said, I cook by smell. Smells good. But it doesn't smell like it has much flavoring in it. And I have to be cautious, y'all, because, as I said, my little person is very sensitive to flavors. Or he'll tell me, like, oh, mommy, it's too salty. Or, I mean, it's too sweet. I mean, too spicy. Too spicy, too this, too that. So, I do tend to put more garlic in my food. Garlic is actually really good for you, too. You know, garlic is good for your heart. So, I use a lot of garlic powder. And I really like onion powder. I don't tend to cut up onions, so I tend to use more powder than anything. Alright, so I just sprinkled a little bit more in there. I'm going to put a dash of Creole in there, not much. Because as I told y'all, the little one does not like spicy foods. So I'll show y'all kind of what it looks like before I mix it in. Alright, so this is what it looks like before I mix it all together. And Creole seasoning, as much as I love it, y'all, it makes me sneeze and cough and stuff. So I gotta hurry up and mix this in before the little particles get in the steam and come up into my nose. Smells good. Oh, did I get a little piece of bone? Yeah, how did those get in there? Huh. All right. Bless you. Heard him sneezing, y'all. We're religious, but we still follow some customs. We say bless you and stuff like that. Alright, now I'm just going to let this simmer because I want all that water to kind of just suck up in there and evaporate. Let me taste it first, right? Make sure you got enough flavor. And we don't want our noodles to get too soggy or break down either, so that's why I poured out a lot of the water, y'all. Alright? So, ooh, chicken and noodles. That tastes really good. Like, really good, y'all. She did that. That is good, good. Now, if you like me and you carve the bone, but almost all the meat off of it, be cautious not to cause your chicken noodles to have bones inside of it, okay? All right, let's check back on these greens while we letting that just sit and simmer a little bit. So as I told y'all, dinner will be ready by 7, right? So we almost there, y'all. I'll cut these greens down. The greens probably gonna need a little more time than 7. So 7:30. We'll say 7:30 because I like my greens well cooked. And they looking good, y'all. Let me show y'all. See them? That's what greens should look like. They should look dark green. See the water? See the color of the water? It ain't clear. It's got that fat in there, the animal fat and stuff in there. They smell delicious, y'all. And they're not like over salty or over fatty that they're like unhealthy for you. Like, yeah. Because I didn't really add, as I said, there's only 1 piece of bacon in there, y'all. Hate to admit that. Sometimes I do turkey instead. I do like to use turkey. Turkey is delicious inside of them. But in this case, I use bacon. And I do like the flavor of the bacon oil inside of my greens. So the bacon fat. So, you know, when you're cooking bacon, if you're a person who cooks bacon, first of all, I don't fry bacon. I don't fry anything in my house. But I have a bacon tray and I'll show it to y'all. It needs to be clean. So I got dishes to wash now. But I have this little bacon tray and it is amazing. I think I got it from like Ross or Marshall or TJ Maxx or somewhere like that. Sorry. All right, so this is what the tray looks like. And mind you, it's dirty right now, but it looks like this and it catches all of the grease from the bacon. And it comes with this little top that just fell on the floor. It comes with this little top right here that catches, that kind of covers it and lets it do its thing. It's got little braided holes in it, so your bacon is never overcooked. I don't eat overcooked bacon, and the reason being is I feel like you lose all of your protein out of it when you overcook it. So I cook it just enough that it's crispy, and they're pretty and crunchy, but not like crunchy, you know? They're like right at the point of being done. It's kind of how I tend to cook my bacon. And that little container really, really makes the bacon cook well. All right, so technically you could take your greens out and eat them just like this because they are cooked down enough, but I want to let mine cook a little more. And the reason being is because when you're cooking multiple types of greens together, you want to make sure those flavors, because all the greens have different flavors. Collards taste different from kale, tastes different from spinach, and vice versa, right? So with that said, I just like to make sure all the flavors blend well together. So I do let them cook for a little bit longer. You know, some people, I know y'all heard your big mamas or grandmamas or whoever, whatever you call a nana, nanny, Mimi, whoever, cooking greens overnight and stuff like that. You ain't gotta do all that. Let me just say that first and foremost. It usually takes me about, at most, an hour if I want to let all the flavors simmer together. At least 30 minutes. And you can have a pot of delicious greens. All right, so that's my greens cooking and everything. Generally, once they finish cooking, I'm not one of those people who be like, oh, you got too much water in your greens. Because I started with a pot full of greens and just let it cook down to the amount of water that I already had in here with the seasoning and stuff. And I try to balance the seasoning with the water based on the aroma. So, with that said, what I'm going to do next is, before I eat them, I always kind of drain my greens a little bit. Because I don't like for them just to soak in a bunch of water forever. So I do take a little bit of water out. So that's kind of my thing that I do. Sorry, y'all, trying to get that green off of there. My chicken and noodles are going well. I'm going to turn these greens, keep them on low. Chicken and noodles is doing really well. Let me wash off the spoon. Actually, let me bite of these greens. Greens taste good. Very heavy in spinach though. And I kind of figured that was going to happen because I had a huge bag of spinach. But I had quite a bit of, I had one bag with kale and collard mix because that's what my plan was, just to cook kale and collards mix here and there. But I ended up buying a bunch of spinach. So I was like, let me use this too because I don't want it to go bad. And I made my last ones last week with spinach in it. So I was like, let me just do it again the same way because they taste so good. But I put way more spinach in than I did last time. So you can taste the spinach this time. But it's not bad. All right, y'all. I'm going to show y'all my chicken and noodles. Got a little bit of broth still in there. Remember that. It is not dry chicken and noodles. It's almost like chicken noodle soup because of the broth in there. But it's not like a heavy broth. So this is my chicken and noodles in the end. There you have it. Let's get somebody to come try a little bit and give y'all an opinion. Teddy, come here for a second. I need your opinion on something. Ah. I need you to try this chicken and noodles and tell me what you...
Alright, is it hot?
Yeah, it's a little hot, so I'm going to blow it.
Those noodles are pretty good.
You barely got it in your mouth. Here. Don't worry, we'll get that cleaned up. You like it?
Mm-hmm.
Does it need anything else?
No. Actually, maybe a little bit more cheddar and a little bit more Creole might do it.
More Creole seasoning?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? Oh, but I thought it's not to you?
No, it's not spicy. I just...
Okay. Okay, good.
I just need a little bit more.
Okay, because you know I try to be cautious with you because you say things are too spicy for you. And there's no cheddar in here at all, buddy. It's chicken and noodles. All right, y'all. Y'all heard it from the kid. He liked it. That Creole seasoning get me, y'all. Every time. But as my son said, he's good with it. He wanted a little more Creole seasoning in it, so we put a little more Creole seasoning in it. Now it smells really yummy. All right, y'all. So that is how we make chicken and noodles. I'm going to eat this last part that he left on the spoon. It hurts good. My dog looking at this noodle on the floor. Here. They're really good, y'all. So that's a quick way you can make chicken and noodles for your family. You can see this big pot is more than enough for a family of 4 to 6 people, really, you know. Let's see, the bag of egg noodles cost me like $2. The chicken was like $5. It was leftover chicken, so I just used that from the rotisserie chicken that I bought. The greens cost me maybe $7 when we put it all together. For the kale, I went to BJ, so probably like $4 for the kale. $3 for the spinach, a little more. And probably about $4 for the collards as well. So was that $11? So $11, and what did I tell y'all? $3 and $5, $8. So $20 meal, right? For a family of like 5 or 6 probably. So make it happen, y'all. You can always make the time to cook a delicious meal for your family at home that's healthy, that's wholesome, and you know what's going inside of it, right? So what better way to eat than knowing what's going in your body? All right, love y'all. Take care. Remember to stay impactful, to do positive things in the world, do something positive in somebody else's life, and just keep positive energy around you. All right, take care. Bye.